Good afternoon. Actually, good evening, Clarksville Generals. Today is Monday, November 16th, 2020, and it is actually almost 5:30 at night. So I am way late in recording these announcements. But your teachers are going to be showing these to you tomorrow, which is actually Tuesday, November 17th. So I am going to combine Monday's announcements and Tuesday's announcements into one big announcement because today was my first day back in the office after 2 weeks. So I was running behind all day today trying to catch up, boys and girls, but I couldn't let the day get by without recording our announcement so we can get to birthdays and, of course, shout outs and all the other information that we discuss in our announcement. So as I said, today is Monday, November 16th, 2020, and I will also be doing announcements for Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. But at this time, let's please stand and put our right hand over our hearts and say the Pledge of Allegiance together. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, boys and girls. You may be seated as we have our moment of silence. Thank you. I certainly hope that today, Monday, was a great day for you. And probably you're listening to this on Tuesday morning. So that moment of silence that you just took, really, I hope you took a minute to think about all the things you can do to make it the best day possible. Well, in taking a look at our birthday list, we need to announce birthdays for November 16th and November 17th. So let's take a look at my birthday list. It looks like on November 16th, happy birthday wishes go to Caitlin Gilmore, Gavin Byers, and Oliver Stewart. And on November 17th, happy birthday wishes go out to Tristan Goff, Kaysen McCutcheon, and Emily Tribby. I hope all of you have a wonderful birthday, boys and girls. And don't forget, when you come back to school in person this week, either Thursday or Friday, depending on what letter your last name starts with, don't forget to stop by the office and see us, and you can pick out your special birthday book and your birthday sticker. Happy birthday, boys and girls. All right. I've got a very special announcement. This is super exciting, especially if you are a second grader in Mrs. Pavlina's class. Guess what? Mrs. Pavlina had her baby boy early this morning, about 2:00 in the morning, actually, on Monday, November 16th. Her baby boy's name is Rhett William, and he is perfectly healthy, and Mrs. Pavlina is feeling great. He came about a week early, so he was really ready to come out and meet the world. Special congratulations go out to Mrs. Pavlina and her husband, Ryan. We can't wait to see pictures of sweet baby boy, Rhett William. Congratulations, Mrs. Pavlina. And if you're a student in Mrs. Pavlina's class, don't forget to be checking Google Classroom. We will have some assignments to get you through remote learning today and tomorrow. Hopefully, we are going to have you joining some of our other second grade classes so you can get the lessons. And then we'll have, after Thanksgiving, your substitute, Mrs. Richards, will be here. I think you guys met her before we went on remote learning. She just finished up her student teaching in first grade in Mrs. Biggs' class. Plus, she was a teaching assistant here right at CES for 5 years. So we all know who Mrs. Richards is, and we're super excited for her to work with Mrs. Pavlina's class. Exciting news this morning, boys and girls. Okay, well, the last couple days, we have been learning about empathy. And we know the definition of empathy is to try to understand how someone else is feeling or putting yourself in someone else's shoes to try to understand how they are feeling. Today's tip for how you can show empathy is if you notice someone at recess or maybe at lunch or another time during the day who seems a bit sad or lonely and doesn't have anyone to play with or doesn't have anyone to talk with, go up to that classmate and offer to talk to him or her. Offer to allow them to join your game or your group or whoever you are playing with at recess or whoever you are talking to at lunch. We want to always include everyone. We don't want boys and girls to feel left out. And that is one very important way, boys and girls, that you can show empathy. All right. Well, let me take a look at our announcements. A couple of quick notes about remote learning. You just have 2 more days left today, which would be Tuesday by the time you watch this, and Wednesday. We did add that we added Wednesday, boys and girls, as another day of remote learning because on Thursday and Friday, we're going to start our new schedule, and we call that Black and Gold Days, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But as we finish up our last 2 days of remote learning, boys and girls, I have a couple of really important reminders that I want everyone to listen carefully to. I have spent last Thursday, Friday, and then today meeting with teachers in every single grade level to check in to see how is remote learning going. And almost all the teachers had so many positive things to say, boys and girls. It sounds like you're doing a great job of coming to most of your Google Meets, which is awesome, so that you can keep learning even from home. Some of you have been doing a fantastic job of doing your follow-up assignments, and some of you have not. So you really need to make sure, boys and girls, that you don't just come to the meets, but you do the work afterwards so that your grade doesn't go down for not doing your work. You've got to follow up and do that work just like you do when you're here in person, boys and girls. And I also want to remind you that when you're in a live meet with your teacher, it's important to have your camera on. Your teacher has to be able to see if you raise your hand, if you have a question, or if you don't understand something, or maybe you just want to participate and answer a question or add on to what one of your classmates has to say. It's super important that those cameras are on because those lessons that your teachers are doing live on Google Meet or Zoom, those are taking the place of what they would be doing with you here in person if you were at school in our building. So cameras on during lessons. Also, I'm hearing that some of you are busier doing chats during your meets than listening to your teacher or participating in class. That's not good, boys and girls. There's a time and a place to use the chat feature. That's super fun. It's always fun to be chatting or texting your friends or family. But during a math lesson, not such a good time. During a reading lesson, not good. During a writing lesson, definitely not good. We are not to be using the chat feature during our lessons. So I'll be following up with your teachers. You've got those 2 more days of remote learning, Tuesday and Wednesday. And I don't want to hear any teachers have to tell me that they had to get on students for using chat when they should be listening and learning. Save chat for after class. Got it? All right. I know you can do it. I know you're going to do a better job with that. All right. Now it's time for something that we always enjoy, shout outs. And I'm going to give a few extra shout outs today, boys and girls, since I'm doing 2 days worth of announcements in one. So get ready. And now that I'm back in my own office, I have double computer screens. So I don't have to have them all written down. So you're going to see me. I've got another screen over here, boys and girls, that I'll be glancing at to pull up emails from your teachers with this awesome shout out information. So good to be back in my office again. I've missed everyone here. All right, so this first shout out comes at us from kindergarten from Mrs. Monroe. And Mrs. Monroe shares that she's so proud of all of her students and parents for their hard work during remote learning. These students have made all of the live lessons, this was for last week, And they are Ariana Raggard, Ariel Muncie, Ashley Rivera, Dylan Rivera, Ethan Andrus, Chloe Perkins, Piper Dmitrievich, Vivian Goff, and Wanya Qureshi. Fantastic. Keep up the great work. Mrs. Monroe is so proud of you, and so is Mrs. Dablow. Good job, boys and girls. Round of applause for our kindergarten friends. All right, next shout out goes to, this goes to some third graders from Mrs. Rhodes' class. Mrs. Rhodes wants to shout out Telly Sanders and Kaylee Skeens because they have finished all of their multiplication facts in Extra Math. That's a program that Mrs. Rhodes' class is using. Great job, Telly and Kaylee. And Mrs. Rhodes also goes on to say they are now starting their division. Fantastic job, girls. I'm so proud of you. Keep up the awesome work. That is great to hear. All right, next set of shout outs goes to some of the students in Mrs. Arthur's small reading groups. I'm super proud of all of the boys and girls that have been doing some extra work with Mrs. Arthur and Miss Wade and Mrs. Anderson and Miss Billig and Miss Rains and a couple of our teachers that have been holding some extra groups. These students have been participating in those groups, plus going to their classroom teacher to those meets as well. So we're super proud of this hard work during remote learning. Mrs. Arthur wants to shout out the following students. She says that these second graders, Jalen Moss, Riley Romans, Serenity Kissel, and Kyra Wimberly. These students have been going above and beyond during their meets with Mrs. Arthur. Super job, second graders. Also, Mrs. Arthur wants to shout out fourth graders, Sinister Mancha, Kiera Hay, and Aaliyah Stewarts. These fourth graders have had perfect attendance in all of Mrs. Arthur's meets, and they've completed all of their assignments. Woohoo! Fourth graders, great job. Mrs. Arthur is proud of you, and so is Mrs. Dablow. Keep up the great work. All right, one more set of shout outs for today. And this comes at us from second grade teacher who just had her baby. She's a brand new mom, Mrs. Pavlina. Mrs. Pavlina wants to recognize the following students in her class: Tristan Aguilar, Henry Vindel Velasquez, Mila Haskins, and Sophia Terhune. These students have been attending every class meeting with a positive attitude, and they work hard to complete all of their assignments. Awesome job, second grade friends. I know Mrs. Pavlina is so proud of you, and so am I. Keep up the great work. All right. Well, boys and girls, now we are finally at our favorite time of the day of announcements, the joke of the day. And I'm here all by myself today because it is almost 6 o'clock and there is nobody left in the school to help me. So you're stuck with me for your joke of the day today. And now that I'm back at school, boys and girls, I got to go over to the announcement can that we keep on that table, right inside the office where students can write down jokes and put your name and your teacher's name. And so now I can get back to using jokes that you CES students have turned in. And this is a super funny one from one of our fourth grade friends. Listen carefully. What do you call a pig who does karate? Let's think about that. What do you call a pig who does karate? A pork chop. Get it? A pork chop. That is so funny. And that one comes from Damian Ortega in Mrs. Lancaster's fourth grade class. Damien, thank you for cracking us up today. That was super funny. And thank you, boys and girls, for your attention to all of these announcements. I love and miss all of you, and I just can't wait to see you in person. If your last name starts with A all the way through K, you're going to come to school on Black Days. Black Days are Mondays and Thursdays. So that means I'll see you at school this Thursday, November 19th. If your last name starts with K all the way through Z, you are going to come to school on Tuesdays and Fridays. And those are called Gold Days. And I will see you, boys and girls, this Friday. So I'll see half of you in person Thursday and half of you on Friday. And I just can't wait. So 2 more days of remote learning, boys and girls, to work hard, and then we'll be back in the building. Thank you for your attention to these announcements, and I will see you soon. Bye.